YouTube Live weather update, give you a heads up of what you can expect over the next couple of days as we continue to see active weather moving into the region, and then also some gusty winds. So just as a heads up, hold on to your hats over the next few days, especially down into southwest Montana. Now, if you can give us about 30 seconds to a minute, we're going to get everything here working behind the scenes, make sure we are all working as expected, and we'll go from there. But what I can show you in the meantime is the upper air pattern, essentially the track of the storms that's going to be keeping us pretty active the next few days, or at least relatively active, not looking at significant storms by any means, but enough that we can be talking about some wintry weather going to be rolling in. So this path right here, or at least this jet stream flow, that is going to be important for our forecast over the next few days. So getting the last things organized back here should be about 20 to 30 seconds, and we'll fully get started with this live update. All right, that's there, and we are in good shape. So we are going to be tag teaming this a little bit. So I'm going to start off with the first first part of this. Alex will jump in, then we'll finish it off, but we'll try and be relatively quick, as we do know the State of the Union will be starting here in just over 20 minutes. We will be live streaming that on our NBC Montana YouTube channel, so certainly tune in for that. So we'll try and make this relatively quickly. But if you have any questions or comments as we go throughout, feel free to ask those in the chat section, and we will answer them to the best of our abilities. Now, as for what we've seen today, we had a quick system move through last night and into this morning. This has brought some scattered snow showers to the region, or at least it started off as snow. We saw snow levels rising through the day. That transitioned most valleys over to rain by the afternoon, and places like Missoula, Hamilton, that is exactly what we're seeing right now. And as we go into radar, you can see that moisture streaming west to east across the area. Right now, it does look like the majority of, say, the Flathead Valley, the US 2 corridor, staying dry. That may end up continuing to be the case. The storm has trended just a teeny bit further south than initial indications were showing. So Kalispell, we may stay primarily dry. A few showers this evening and into tomorrow morning can't be ruled out, but the greatest coverage will be for areas near and south of Interstate 90. So really from about, say, Highway 200, the Flathead Lake area, and then south from there is going to be our focus. So I'm going to stop this right now. You can see that moisture pluming, that moisture plume moving through the area. We're seeing this now spreading into more of this zone as well from Butte to Bozeman, though the radar's not really picking up on that at this time. We will see more of that later on. Now, you will notice we're seeing plenty of green in here. We're still looking at rain in the valley, so places like Polson, down the US 93 through the Jocko Valley, Arlee, Missoula, down to Florence, Stevensville, Hamilton, even down to Darby, we're looking at rain. Same story from about St. Regis down through Superior and down Interstate 90 out towards Clinton, Drummond, and the Garrison areas a little bit further off to the east. Above 4,000 feet, 4,500 feet, this is all falling as snow. Sometimes moderate here and there. We are going to see more of that overnight tonight, looking at that snow along the Montana-Idaho state line, so look out Lolo and even Lost Trail Pass, as we will see an increase in moisture here later on. Now, as for those current conditions out there, we're looking at here, Kalispell, Dillon, Bozeman, Missoula. We're seeing just generally cloudy skies, but you can see the wet roads in Missoula. That's going to continue to be the trend. I am going to bring our Dillon camera over to the mining city and show you a little bit of a different view that we can't see a whole lot of. This morning's snow helped to block the camera except for this tiny little window out to the outside world, essentially. So not really showing much on that camera other than that snow, but temperatures at upper 30s, low 40s are common. 39 right now in Kalispell, 37 Missoula, 40 in Butte, and 43 into Bozeman. And looking ahead into tonight and tomorrow, I will now turn things over to meteorologist Alex Lamont.
How incredibly exciting. Hello, everybody. My live stream debut here on NBC Montana.
Oh, I'll get you back in screen there.
Hiding in the shadows over here. Yes. So I'm going to be taking you through what tonight and tomorrow is going to look like temperature-wise, as well as some of the conditions you're going to be expecting, as well as accumulation, which is always a fun thing to figure out, as well as some warnings. So, looking at tonight, temperatures are going to be in the upper 20s to low 30s across the region, seeing a nice trio of 30s there for Missoula, Butte, Bozeman, Kalispell looking at 26, and temperatures tomorrow will be getting up into the low 30s and upper 30s and low 40s, I should say, rather. Even getting into upper 40s heading toward Bozeman, looking at 48 degrees there. 41 being the cool spot at 41 degrees. As you take a look at our handy-dandy future tracker, this is around 8:30 this evening. We can still see those showers picking up there to the northeast of Missoula and there along the Idaho border, say Lolo Pass, likely going to be seeing some moisture this evening, as well as up to Lookout Pass. As we head into later parts of the evening, we'll be seeing a cold front pushing through that's going to allow some of that moisture to make its way down to the southwest part of the state, but also bring with it some gusty winds out there, especially down toward Bozeman, where we could see wind gusts upwards of 60 to even 80 miles an hour. So just be mindful that if you do have any hats, like we mentioned earlier today, they are likely going to be blown off your head if they are not on properly. So just keep that in mind for my loose hat wearers out there. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, y'all. I'm just trying to live stream thing or whatever.
I was gonna say that's the nice thing with these. They're a lot more casual. They're fun. So
Absolutely, y'all will come to know that I am not a very serious
there we
person.
go.
Hi, hello. Yeah, I'm kind of a goofy goober. So just I'm sorry if that's annoying or anything, but yeah. Anyways,
I was like, you're gonna make these fun. That's what matters.
I hope so. I truly hope so for all the Montanans out there. But as we head into tomorrow, there is going to be the potential to see some snow squalls out there. So with snow squalls, treat them like a severe thunderstorm warning if any warnings are in fact issued. We could be seeing 1 to 2 inches of snowfall in as short as a 30-minute time period, as well as some pretty extreme whiteout conditions. So definitely not too friendly to the drivers out there. So just keep that in mind. But those snow showers will continue and heading into the south, but we still could see some bands, as you can see here, heading across west central Montana, as well as those gusty winds. And then as we head into the accumulation, we are looking at another 1 to 2 inches as we head through your Wednesday across many of our mountain passes. Mariah's Pass, Rogers Pass, Pinello Pass. Lookout Pass could see 1 to 3, and Lolo likely taking that first place at 2 to 5 inches of accumulation. So certainly nice for our snowpack out there. Could certainly use the moisture, as we have seen some below average conditions for our snowpack, and honestly, we'll take any moisture that we can get.
So true. So true.
And then as we look at our avalanche warnings, we do have some in place toward the Kootenai Cabinet region, heading down the Sealy Swan, and even toward the Bitterroot and Lost Trail Pass. We are seeing those avalanche warnings. So if you are planning on backcountry skiing, there are definitely some treacherous conditions out there where we do have some heavy snow and drifting snow at that. So this is going to be in place until tomorrow morning, and then we'll likely just be seeing winds as we head into Wednesday and onward. But I'm going to pass it on to the oh-so-mighty meteorologist, Mitchell Gibbs.
Thank you. So yeah, as Alex mentioned, going from snow into wind, there is going to be this connection between the two, especially in our higher elevations where we have that avalanche risk that will be in place again through at least tomorrow morning. Could see those extended, just especially as we start to see these unstable layers of snow where we go from a little bit dry, a little bit crusty, and then you get this heavy wet snow that we've been dealing with, another round of Pacific moisture. So avalanche concerns are going to continue, and again, like we were mentioning, many of our mountain areas west of the Divide, but also the Beartooth and Absaroka Mountains down here towards Cook City. I know it's a big popular snowmobiling area, certainly something to watch out for. Now as we get into the wind side of things, we have high wind warnings. So I'll say this, ignore this up here. High wind warnings here in this tan shade, and then we do have some high wind watches there into north central Montana, and many of these areas actually will have another round of high wind watches that go into effect for the later parts of this week. But I do want to go into some specifics just really quick on these high wind warnings, give you some of the details on the timing of them. And all of these will be running, along and east of the Divide will be running from 2 a.m. Wednesday to the 11 p.m. Wednesday time frame. The exception for that one will be up here into areas closer to Great Falls. Those will continue all the way through 8 a.m. on Friday, and that's where we start to see a bit of a difference where the rest of those I'm thinking snow, high wind warnings will be replaced with high wind watches. We could see another round of high wind warnings for all of these areas once again as we head into Thursday and Friday. Something we'll be keeping a very close eye on. But with all of these, we're looking at sustained winds anywhere from about 30 to 40, 45 miles per hour. Could be talking gusts anywhere from 70 to 80 miles per hour. This does include places like Three Forks, Dillon, Ennis, Whitehall, Cardwell, Toston, Townsend, as well as up Interstate 15 towards, say, Boulder and Clancy, where we could be talking those winds. But one other note, and I do want to bring this up, for the eastern Rocky Mountain front, the eastern side of the divide, southern Rocky Mountain front, this zone, we could even see some stronger wind gusts closer to 80 to 100 miles per hour as we get into the next couple of days. And this would be including places like the Browning community, East Glacier Park, Babb, where we could be talking about the potential of those winds 90, maybe even 100 miles per hour. So some very strong winds are expected, and we'll just kind of show how this increases overnight tonight as we get closer into tomorrow morning. This is all in association with that cold front that's going to be passing through. We're going to see those winds. You see Dillon right there, 40 to 50 miles per hour. Bozeman, we could see the same. We do have that high wind warning for Bozeman and the Gallatin Valley as well for that same time frame. West of the divide, still could be talking gusts 20 to 30 miles per hour, not quite to wind advisory criteria for, say, Missoula, Kalispell, Polson, Hamilton, but something we'll be keeping a very close eye on. And you see that big 60 plus there at Cut Bank. That's the type of winds we could be talking about for Cut Bank, Browning, Babb, East Glacier Park Village, and then even further down towards McDonald Pass, Rogers Passes, where we could be talking issues. But watch how the wind really just does not subside. Thursday into Friday, we're still looking at those very strong winds, area-wide gusting 20 to 40 miles per hour being pretty common, and then the potential of 30 to 50, maybe even 60 miles per hour down into southwest Montana and along the divide. That's going to be our biggest concern there. Now, moving a little bit forward, we're going to be looking at some pretty mild temperatures. West of the divide, we're talking temperatures 5 to maybe 10 degrees above average into the 40s. Bozeman, on the other hand, with those west to east winds, southwesterly flow trying to mix in there. This is a warmer type of flow. We're talking temperatures anywhere from 10 to nearly 20 degrees above average for this week. So looking at low to mid 50s Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And with that, for the most part, we're going to be quiet in southwest Montana. There is going to be a storm system that does try to clip parts of northwest, maybe even west central Montana Friday into Saturday and Sunday. I think places like Kalispell, West Glacier, maybe even Seeley Lake, and then east from there are going to be most likely to see this precipitation. And you'll see that here, Troy down towards Trout Creek, Thompson Falls, where we see a bit of a rain-snow mix. And this just sticks around into Saturday, but by Saturday afternoon, that storm system begins to clear, and I think we're looking at a relatively quiet weekend. Still can't rule out an isolated shower chance or two, but I think for this weekend it should be pretty quiet. And likely the strongest storm of this week is the one we already had this morning. So I think everything else outside of the wind gusts that we're going to be seeing for the end of this week, storm-wise and moisture-wise, we're going to start trending down. And that's why I think the winds are going to actually end up being our top weather story as we go into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and that potential for those snow squalls down into parts of southwest Montana. I think I've got one last graphic here, and this is just a recap graphic. So this is sort of the last call. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask those really quick, and then we'll get everything wrapped up here in the next 2 to 3 minutes. But wintry weather, we're going to continue to see that tonight and into tomorrow. There's going to be that wintry mix, primarily looking at valley rain, transitioning over to that rain-snow mix up over 4,000 feet. It is going to stay as snow for this entire duration. As we get into tomorrow morning, that's going to be our biggest concern, closer to sunrise, especially for areas along and south of Interstate 90, where we could be talking snow squalls, quickly reduced visibility, quickly changing road conditions, maybe a ½ inch to 2 inches of snow within, say, 30 minutes. That could lead to some issues. With it happening in the morning, the instability is a bit lower, so that's going to limit the likelihood of snow squalls, but we're still looking at around, say, anywhere from 15 to 25, 30% chance of a few of those down into, say, the Bitterroot Valley, and then south towards, say, south and east, say, Butte, down towards Dillon, Bozeman. Can't rule out a few of those for tomorrow. And with that front moving through, it's going to bring those wind gusts up. Again, 40 to 60 mile per hour winds, especially for southwest Montana, are going to be common. There will be the potential that we could see gusts maybe 60 to 80 as well in a few very localized areas. And then towards Babb, Browning, East Glacier Park, 80 to 100 miles per hour can't be ruled out. For most of the region, temperatures this week, we're looking at above average in the 40s. Though southwest Montana, as we get towards the end of the week, we are going to be looking about the potential of some 50-degree temperatures, talking anywhere from about 10 to 20 degrees above average over the next little bit. So that's certainly something we'll be keeping a very close eye on. And with that, we're going to start wrapping this up. But I hope you all have a great evening and stay safe out there. Tune into our YouTube live coverage of the State of the Union address coming up here in just a few minutes. And we'll see you all on the next one. With NBC Montana, I'm meteorologist Mitchell Coombs with...
I'm meteorologist Alex Lamont.
Have a great night, everyone.
Bye, everybody.